Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. We will explain about structure of modification and predication. First, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Wasiul Mafiro. Here, I would like to explain about structures of modification. Structures of modification tends to have head with modifier. The position of modifier can come before or after head. There are some kinds of phrase in structures of modification, namely, first is noun phrase. Noun phrase is the phrase which head is noun and it can be modified by adjective. For example, good lawyer. Lawyer as head and good as modifier. Noun. There are a number of noun treated as modifier that modifies the noun as a head. Noun which modifies another noun. For example, Dr. Parkin. Doctor as modifier and Parkin as head. Of construction, the first noun is head. For example, corner of seat. Of seats, construction occupying modifier position come after the head, corner. Possessive construction, the second noun is the head. For example, John's brothers. John's as modifier and brother as head. The second is verb. It has been classified such as main or auxiliary. Besides, the verb are marked by present participle. For example, playing flute. Past participle, helped Jan. To infinitive, like to start. Third is adverb. For example, rain here. Here as adverb modifies and the head is rain. The last is propositional phrase. It borrowed from preposition and noun. For example, up chimney. The second is adjective phrase. It has an adjective head word and analyzes in terms of basic elements such as modifier, head word, element, and qualifier. Then, the modifier can be kind of noun, adjective, adverb, verb, and qualifier. First is noun. For example, person responsible. The adjective is responsible as head and person as modifier. Adjective. For example, enormous old. The adjective is old as head and the second adjective enormous as modifier. Verb. For example, furious to hear, to her. The adjective is furious as head and the to her as modifier. Adverb. For example, remarkably clean. The adjective is clean as head and remarkably as modifier. The last is qualifier. For example, very cheap. The adjective is cheap as head and the very as modifier.
About first prepositional phrase and infinitive phrase. The first is adverb phrase. Adverbial phrase have as their head word and a verb. There are four kinds in the example. Adverb and adverb. The sentence quiet quickly. Quiet is modifier and quickly is is had. Second is noun and adverb. The time had already. The time had is modifier and already is had. Prepositional phrase and adverb. From nearby. From is modifier and nearby is had. The last is qualifier in adverb. Very easily. Very is modifier and easily is had. The second is prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase consists of a preposition, the nominal group. In this example below, the class of complement, which follows the preposition. The first is nominal phrase, and nominal phrase. In the morning, in is preposition and morning is modifier. Adjective phrase. In brief, in is had and brief is modifier. Adverbial phrase. After tomorrow, after is had and tomorrow is modifier. Prepositional phrase. From, of the self. From is had and of the self is modifier. Nominal subordinate clause. After listening to the news. After is had and listening to the news is modifier. And the last is genitive phrase. Genitive phrase are formed by adding an apostrophe s at the end of the nominal phrase. Example, James. It is also variously known in literature as possessive phrase or genitive noun phrase.
Wabarakatuh. My name is Elvinur Farida. I will explain the next explanation about kinds of phrase in the structure of modification. The next kinds of phrase in structure of modification is verb phrase. Verb means kata kerja, and phrase is a series of words that are meaningful but don't have a pattern, subject plus verb. Jadi maksudnya, frasa adalah rangkaian kata yang bermakna tetapi tidak memiliki pola subject plus verb. For example, old house, very long, very slow, enough money, and others. So, the definition of verb phrase is syntactic unit consisting of an auxiliary verb preceding the main verb. Verb phrase have a verb as a head, which in a main verb, and the modifiers are also in some kinds of part of speech. Jadi maksudnya, verb phrase adalah unit sintaksis yang terdiri dari kata kerja bantu sebelum kata kerja utama. Verb phrase mempunyai sebuah verb sebagai head yang merupakan kata kerja utama dan modifier juga dalam beberapa jenis part of speech. Okay, for adjective modifier of verb. Jadi di sini adjective itu sebagai modifier dan verbnya itu sebagai head. For example, be honest. Di sini honestnya itu sebagai modifier and be-nya sebagai head. Head di sini adalah inti yang dijelaskan, sedangkan modifier adalah yang memodifikasi atau yang menjelaskan. For noun modifier of verb. Jadi di sini noun-nya itu sebagai modifier dan verb-nya itu sebagai head. For example, Mike helped Jane. Jane is the noun as modifier and the verb help as a head. For verb modifier of verb. Jadi verb di sini sebagai modifier dan verb satunya sebagai head. For example, she comes smiling. The verb is comes as a head and the modifier is smiling. For adverb modifier of head. Nah, di sini adverbnya itu sebagai modifier dan verbnya itu sebagai head. For example, walk quickly. The verb is walk as a head and the adverb quickly as a modifier. And next, for a prepositional phrase modifier of verb. Jadi di sini prepositional phrase itu sebagai modifier and verbnya itu sebagai head. For example, he insists on his right. On his right is preposition phrase consists of the preposition on and the object preposition his right, modifying the verb insist as a head. And the next kind of phrase in structure of modification is subordinator phrase. Subordinator are introducing adverbial subordinator clause which referred to as adverbializers and those which introduce nominal subordinate clause as nominalizers. Adverbializer, for example, because, when, after, and others. Then nominalizers, for example, that, if, whether, and others. Example, just because you have lost your ticket. There are a modifier can be placed in front of a nominal subordinator. In that sentence, the point is because when the modifier and subordinator are uttered together and emphasis is placed on the subordinator. Jadi maknanya adalah subordinator memperkenalkan adverbial subordinate clause yang disebut sebagai adverbializers dan yang memperkenalkan nominal subordinate clause disebut sebagai nominalizers. Contoh dari adverbializer yaitu because, when, after, dan others. Sedangkan contoh dari nominalizers yaitu that, if, whether, and others. Dan dari contoh kalimat yang tadi, ada modifier yang bisa diletakkan di depan nominal subordinator. Dalam contoh kalimat tersebut adalah because, ketika the modifier dan subordinator diucapkan bersama-sama dan penekanan ditempatkan pada subordinator.
Here I am Tias. I will explain about predication. Predication is a noun from predicate. Predicate is complete the sentence to make a complete sentence. And predicate that refers to verb that which expresses action, so even in the sentence. So the structure of predication is the structure which has two immediate that subject and predicate. So the example like the man kicked the ball. The man is subject and kick the ball is predicate.
Okay, I'm Zara Zatira. I want to tell about the kinds of subjects. Some subject in structure of predication can be noun and noun heads of structure of modification. The example is noun, predicate, or subject modification plus predicate. The example of noun plus predicate, like Dani reads a book. So Dani is a noun and reads a book is a predicate as predicate. And then the example of subjects modification plus predicate, like a thunder in the sky surprised me. A thunder in the sky as subject's modification, and then surprise me as predicate. Structure of modification, where are the hits are adjective, adverb, or verb. The adjective: a beautiful girl buys a flower. A beautiful girl is adjective, and buys a flower is as predicate. And then verb. Verb dibagi menjadi 3. Yang pertama infinitive, present participle, and prepositional phrase. And then structure of coordination, structure of predication, and structure of complementation. Jadi ada 5 ya sebenarnya. Verb infinitive. Example, I want to study English. The phrase of I want to is infinitive verb, and then the predicate is study English. The second, present participle. Example, sitting here is pleasant. The word sitting here is present participle, and then predicate is pleasant. Prepositional phrase. Tumaka is a wonderful. The word tumaka is prepositional phrase, and then is a wonderful is predicate. Okay, the continue the prepositional phrase. Example, tumaka is a wonderful. The word tumaka is prepositional phrase, and then is a wonderful is predicate. Structure of coordination. Whether yes or not is my answer. This example. The words whether yes or not is the structure of coordination, showing the subject of predicate is my answer. Okay? And then structure of predication includes clause. Wherever is the structure wherever word is must be crazy. Wherever is structured predication, and predicate word is the must be crazy. And the last, structure of complementation. Structure complementation example is driving car is my hobby. The driving car is structure complementation, and the sewing predicate is my hobby.
My name is Teguh Rifai. I'm from class C, and now I want to tell about a kind of prediction. Predicate is one of constituent of sentence structure which explains subject. Jadi predikat itu adalah sesuatu yang menjelaskan subjek. Ini memiliki beberapa jenis. Yang pertama yaitu verb as predicate. Jadi verb itu menjadi predikat. Contohnya subject plus verb, yaitu subjeknya misalnya he, dan predikatnya itu kita ambil contoh look. Look itu adalah verb. Jadi look ini menjadi menjelaskan subjek, yaitu subjeknya he. The word look are the verb as predicate of the subject he. Number 2 is structure of modification as predicate, sama juga. Jadi di sini subject structure of modification itu menjelaskan subjek. Contohnya they, objected to the itu structure of modification yang menjelaskan they. Number 3 is structure of complementation as predicate. Nah, structure of complementation ini menjelaskan subjek. Contohnya misalnya subjeknya Tom, and predicate-nya is very fit. Is very fit is structure of complementation yang menjelaskan subjek. Number 4 is structure of coordination. The example is Rat, predicate is place, the field, and Jill. Jadi structure of coordination ini menjelaskan subjeknya itu rat. Ya, mungkin itu aja penjelasan dari kind of prediction. Kurang lebih saya mohon maaf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.